Tom Show. Tom Show.
Hello, everyone. This is the Tom Show. I'm Tom. Everybody knows Che in Sports Cards One on the Twitter. It's a serious show. We're talking sports investing. Let's get right into it. Why does water filters suck? Go ahead.
What's up, man? I love that intro tune. It's just so mellow, you know. Just
Yes.
it's was it your cousin?
Yeah, it's my cousin. It's called Chasing the Sun.
Yeah.
SON as in Jesus. So yeah, it's just nice, mellow. He does beats. He's done them for Snoop Dogg and the Dog Pound EPG. He works with DJ Battlecat. That's kind of his mentor. They do a lot of stuff out there in Arizona and the Southern California.
That
but
makes sense. I mean, Snoop Dogg and Tom, #1 hobby influencer. I mean, you're right on that level.
Snoopy. We
Yeah.
both got the Snoopy
I didn't
thing.
even. I didn't
Yep.
even make that.
But yeah, he not you got to make however many beats you make until something sticks and you actually make
Right.
it a full song. But that doesn't mean that this little 20-30 second throwaways aren't useful. That's what I was like. I just want one. Just give me one. He's like, okay.
That's
and
cool.
he's like, you want the one that I did with your dad? And I was like, hell no. I was like, I like this one the best. It's the most chill. So how are you, Che? It's been a while since we've talked and hung out.
Man, I'm doing good. Doing good. A little sore today. Played golf for the first time in like 4 years yesterday, and I felt it this morning. But I had fun. You know, I used to do that a lot, and used to go out and hike a lot. You know, when I get off work, I take my camera bag with me and go out and just find a trail somewhere and hike for an hour or two. And used to do a lot of physically active stuff, and I haven't for like the last 4 years. So I am sore this morning, but I'm going to start doing it some more. I really need to, and I need to get back to doing other hobbies. This sports cards hobbies kind of dominated, for the last 2.5 years for me. That and my kids are starting to get into some extracurriculars, and there's only so much time in a day.
Yeah.
But I really need to make an effort to start being physically active and doing stuff outdoors again. So I really enjoyed it, but like I said, a little sore this morning.
Yeah, about 13, 14 years ago, I would go golfing once or twice a week with my family. My older brother was my boss, and he would want to go golfing in the afternoon. So we would do that a couple times a week. And then after, my other brother died and my brother moved away, that ended. And I moved up here, sold my golf clubs. And I think, it's been 12 years since I swung a club. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I was always terrible. I can't drive. I'll be like, hey, I can never see where my ball goes. So I'm on the tee box, I hit it, and I'm like, where'd it go? And my brother's like, 300 yards that way.
That way.
And I'm like, gosh darn it, go 2 fairways over, and hit it in. And
looking around to see how many people see you standing in the wrong fairway and hit it as quick as you can. Yeah. I tweeted when I got home last night. I was like, gap, lob, sand, pitching, it doesn't matter. If the club's got the damn word wedge in it, then it is pure evil and the bane of my existence. It was I struggled with the short game, anything that requires touch. And it being that long since I played, I think that probably makes the most sense. But I went with my uncle. We used to go back before my kids were born. Me and my uncle and a bunch of his work buddies, we'd go on a pretty big, I say big, we'd go to Florida, we'd go somewhere for a week and go on a golf trip every year and just enjoyed the hell out of it. It was always one of my favorite weeks of the year. And then, I got married, I had kids, and that kind of stopped.
Yeah.
But he's been in some poor health for the last few years, and he's feeling better. And so we have a trip planned actually in about 3 weeks. So, we're going to go play for 3 days. And so we decided we probably better get out and swing the club,
practice,
to get a little practice and just get our bodies just a little stretching. We don't want to go having not played in that long and just play 72 holes in 3 days. and kill ourselves. So that's why we went, and I had a good time. That's all that matters. I had a really good time. So no, that's what's up with me today. What's up with you, man?
We're the opposite golfers. Where you were talking right before we came on, you're like, yeah, it's 480 yards to the tee box, and I got here 2 strokes, and it's going to take me 5 to get it in. And I'm the opposite. It takes me like 4 or 5 to get close. Then I do a nice little, 100-yard chip with a wedge, and I'm like 5 feet away, and then, 4 putt. So but no, wedges are my strong. See, that's why we'd be
good scramble partners.
Yeah. You just knock it off, then I'll lay it up and over. So I've been focusing on other hobbies too. I think the card overload is hitting a lot of people. We're not getting the free Trump bucks or Biden bucks or whatever anymore. We, in these $1,000 boxes for WWE Prism don't sound exciting at all in any way. And I mean, that's not even NFL Prism. I don't even know how much that is. It's just a nightmare. Prism's an $85 a box product. Not $85, not 850, guys. And it's just like, it's kind of a bummer. So it's like, I'm getting back more into video games, just trying some stuff here and there. And not that I stopped playing video games, but I really feel my desire to collect kind of go down. It's just, the last 3 years, we'll say 2020, 21, and now first part of 2022, just beating the collecting out of me for cards. It's hard to find what I want to collect. It's hard to, find the desire to sell a whole bunch of stuff on eBay to try to get some stuff that I want to collect. It's just not fun as much. There's still a lot of fun stuff to do in it. But just right now, it's just kind of like, it's been so much the last few years, especially with the Twitter and, getting engaged with, more friends. It's just kind of like taking a backseat to my desire of hobbies. So, you kind of feel the same way, right? Just
out. I mean, I don't know if I'm burnt out as much as just, I think everybody went a little crazy in 2020 and 2021, including me. And then you had the crap where everybody was going crazy, and you had all the flippers, and you couldn't find retail. But every time I walk into Walmart now, and I love to see it because how much I hate Panini. But there's just, the shelves are full of Panini products, Contenders basketball, Contenders football, Mosaic this, Mosaic that, and they're just there all the time because nobody's buying them. Because I think people are finally starting to understand that there's not a lot of value in buying that shitty product right there. And they've raised the price. Zion Mania is gone, and I think maybe a lot of people hopefully people learned that. Well, they haven't, because we're going to talk about Wander here in a minute. I was about to say, hopefully people have learned their lesson from Zion, but they haven't. But it's just, I think people realize that's a blaster box for $34.98, and it's not a $34.98 product right there. And I'm not going to buy it. And I'm glad to see that. And I have been I bought a ton, way too much Top Series 1 flagship, because that's always my favorite. Well, Stadium Club's my favorite every year, always. That. Yeah. But I'm a Topps guy. I'm a Topps baseball guy. I'm a baseball collector more than football or basketball. It's been that way since I was 7 years old. I bought way too many Top Series 1 because I don't really like the product. I mean, of the products that are there on the shelf, I like it the most. But there's just not a lot to offer. I mean, there's the Wander cards in there, but I do like the inserts that they're putting into retail, the MLB stars. They're 1 per pack, so they're not worth anything, but I like looking at them. I like collecting them. But other than that, I don't like any of the inserts. They look like Bowman, and I'm not a Bowman fan. I've never been a Bowman fan.
Yeah.
But having said all that, I bought a ton of them. So I have been buying Top Series 1. I haven't bought enough Heritage. I should have been buying more Heritage at the hobby shop instead of buying the Top Series 1 at retail. But you go into Walmart to get a gallon of milk and something else, and hey, there's some Series 1. Well, I'll pick up a blaster, or I'll pick up a hanger of that. I even bought 5 packs of opening day when I went to not Jimmy's card shop. I didn't go to Kentucky Roadshow. I went to, hope you're not watching Jimmy. I don't think he will. Don't tell Jimmy I cheated on him. But I went to, it's a shop that's closest to my kid's school. And I got there a little bit early one day and went in and literally had a $10 bill in my pocket. I don't carry cash. I rarely carry cash, but I was looking and I'm like, well, I bought enough Series 1 and, those are hobby boxes. They're $100 a box. I'm not going to buy that. It's useless. But it's like, oh, man, they got opening day. They're $1.50 a pack. I haven't seen any of them. I know what they are, but it's like, oh, it'll give me something to open. I can get 5 packs for this $10. And if I get any mascots, I'll send them to Anna. So I opened 5 packs of opening day, pulled a damn printing plate out of there. I got an Eloy Jimenez 1-of-1 printing plate. So it was crazy. Yeah. It's,
you've been on a good run with the Topps 1-of-1s this last year or so.
I pulled a 1-of-1 each of the last 3 years out of a Topps product. I pulled, in 2020, I bought a Walgreens hanger box and pulled a Ricky Henderson Decade's Best 1-of-1. And then last year at the same LCS that I bought the opening day, I bought a pack of Stadium Club and pulled a Casey Mize Beam Team 1-of-1 auto, which was a good one. I still have that one. Oh, there's Chad. Hey, Chad, what's up? Yeah, Chad wants to break some heritage.
Yeah, heritage is fun. I like it. It's just kind of old school, Yeah,
and I like 73. So I thought I'm not going to buy any more Series 1. I'm done. I'm done with that. Chad, actually, I was really happy to see Chad. He, for any of you that are watching later or don't know Chad, he's in the comments right now. That's my best friend since 1992. We lived next door to each other in the freshman dorms at UK. And we collected, we had so much in common, our taste in music, our taste in sports, and we both were huge card collectors. So we used to go to card shops together when we were in college and open and just enjoy the hell out of it. But same as me, he got a job, he got married, had kids, life happened, and he stopped collecting. So he hadn't bought a pack of new product. He'd been doing some garage sale stuff. He bought a bunch of old junk wax last summer. We opened a ton of that together, but he had not bought a pack of new product until about 2 weeks ago, about a week and a half ago. And he bought a couple hobby boxes of Series 1. So I really enjoyed following along with him via DMs and his tweets.
Yeah,
as he got to experience, what the hobby has become, as opposed to his last interactions with it were 93, 94, something like that. And to see him kind of get back into it and start enjoying it again, I've been kind of enjoying that. So I don't know what got me off on that. I was talking about something else and I saw him commenting and he squirrel, I saw a squirrel. And,
3B, he's like, usually only buy what I need for my PC. That's the thing. Like, if I really wanted to collect, like, what I wanted to collect most was the AEW cards from Upper Deck. If I wanted to do that with my PC, the guys that I'd like are like the most expensive ones. So it's kind of like I can't afford to buy a $500 MJF auto. It's like I just kind of want to open it and just have some fun and see some cool cards, because Upper Deck makes some quality stuff still. Their hockey sets, I know hockey's not for everyone, but their hockey cards are really amazing. And the AEW cards turned out so well, and they're gonna have more releases. But no one expected that. Boom. See, that's what's disappointing me. It's like, cards are back. Yeah, we're seeing them in Walmart. I was like, sweet, AEW. No one cares about that. I'm gonna be able to rip as much as I want. They're like $80 a hobby box. It's gonna be awesome. Like the week before they came out, because I had to delay it, it's like, nope, they're like $160 a hobby box, and it's like wiped out everywhere. And it's like, what the crap, man? Like, there goes. I think that's what kind of killed it for me. I was, Series 1 last year, I made a big deal about how I wasn't going to buy any, and then I bought up like one hanger and got the Mike Trout super short print. That was like $400 card, and I was like, sweet, that's going to help me buy more Project 70. But this year might be the same. I might just like, in a week or two, might see a hanger and just pick it up and just to say I opened something. But I'm just not excited for it. The Rockies, they're losing their players. Not really excited about who they gained. I mean, I still love the Rockies, still gonna, follow them, but baseball is not as exciting for me right now as it was a few years ago with the more chase names in it. And I know Wander is like the biggest chase name ever. You know, every year that's the new chase is the better than all the old ones. But you know, there's also a lot of controversy with Wander. Is that the Bowman's Best from last year? Is that his rookie because Top screwed up? Is it the Keith Shore because it was in a numbered set? You know, I don't. It's just kind of like all this stuff. There's so many people fighting and arguing, and it's like, who cares?
Yes, the answer is yes. It's like, so is, if Series 1 is his rookie, does that mean that the Stadium Club that comes out later this year, is that not his rookie? I just don't get it. I understand what they're saying, because I don't when I say I don't understand prospecting, I understand what prospecting is. I don't understand the appeal of prospecting. So I get it that, hey, is this Bowman's Best a prospect card, or has he now officially transitioned into rookie status with that card? And I know with the Top Series 1, there's no doubt he's got his rookie card.
Yeah.
So going forward, it's no longer a prospect. But I guess the burning question is that Bowman card a prospect card or a rookie card? And it just, I don't get, I mean, just the vitriol on Twitter and my timeline about this damn card. It's like, it's a better looking card than the Top. I like it better. So if I were going to pick one of the two, I would pick the Bowman, you know, but it doesn't have the rookie card stamp on it. But I mean, I think they made the mistake in the numbering.
Yes.
And that's, so I guess in my mind, the mistake in the numbering, I don't think the intent of that Bowman's Best card was to be his rookie. It was just they messed up on the numbering. So I guess the Series 1 is his rookie. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I'm not going to collect him.
But that brings up a point, because there was that Bowman Heritage, right? That they were supposed to release, but then didn't, because they had 150 prospects that were numbered, including Wander and all these other younger guys that would have been considered rookie cards by the traditional Beckett old boomer heads. So it's like, well, like you released one, you got caught, and then now you haven't released this entire other set that people have been waiting on and have pre-ordered. So it's just kind of like, I don't know what Topps is doing, and I'm kind of like, I kind of want Star Trek and Star Wars cards and wrestling cards. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of, you know, basketball and football are ridiculously overpriced, in my opinion. Baseball is affordable. I just don't care. Yes, we got Chris Bryant, but Chris Bryant is not good. He's good. I mean, he was, but what's he going to do in Colorado? He's one guy. Yeah, there's some other pieces that are okay, but he doesn't move my needle, you know? And it's like, your guys move your needle, not necessarily someone coming over that's not as exciting. Yeah, I mean, Rookie of the Year MVP, but, you know, it's like Arenado was my guy. Story was my guy. You know, the guys we, you know, raised. McMahon is my guy now. You know, it's just, that means more to me. But
let me ask you something real quick though.
Yeah.
We'll use Chris Bryant. I haven't been a Cubs fan. I haven't followed Chris Bryant's career. I know he's got pretty good numbers though, career wise, right?
He did his first few years. I haven't paid attention much.
Truly, what are the odds that Wander Franco has as good a career numbers as Chris Bryant?
Let me see what he has. Pull up Wander Franco, would you? Can you do that from your computer?
Yeah. What do you mean? What do you want me to pull up?
This is stats from last year, because he played like dang near a whole year. Because, you know, I really don't know. So for his career, 7 years, Chris Bryant, he has a batting average of 278. He has 167 home runs. OPS plus slugging. OPS, I don't know any of that stuff. Advanced stats, I'm not that big of a into it, but he was MVP in 2016. That was his best season. He hit 292, 39 home runs, 121 runs scored, and 102 RBIs. That sounds like a pretty weak MVP season to me, honestly.
Yeah, but it was an MVP season. So, I mean, I guess my point was, is Wander going to have an MVP level season at any point during his career? He might, but just the odds of
Did I lose you, Che? I think we lost Che there for a second.
in the past, Tom, you're buffering. I don't know if I'm buffering for you, but
yeah, you were buffering for me. Got a little internet issue, I guess. I mean, Wander had a better year than Chris Bryant did last year. So,
yeah, I just don't know. I look at, if you look at players that are top level all-star caliber players year after year after year, and you look at the value of their rookies and their autos, and even their one-of-ones and from their rookie years, and to see these prospects selling for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times more than what you could go get an established vet who's been a star, who's been an MVP, who is a perennial all-star, and you go back and you find their rookie cards that are autographed and numbered, and you're like, the odds of this prospect ever even approaching that guy's career stats are not good at all. And I just don't understand. I know it's scratching a lottery ticket, and you could hit. I mean, one of them will eventually be another Mike Trout, but just the risk involved is not worth it to me to try to collect these prospects.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, like Nolan Arenado, he's put up amazing numbers for his career. You could buy like an auto for like $40, his rookie stuff has gone up a little bit more, but you could buy his rookie, just raw, super cheap still, like less than that. Yeah. His first Bowman or his rookie card from Topps. And, it just seems so weird. It's the hype, but it's like artificial hype. You know what I mean? It's like people get in each other's heads, and old baseball people want to be right. And it's more about like, I'm right by picking my guy than the actual baseball itself. It's kind of crazy. So I don't get it.
3B mentions Freddie Freeman. Think Freddie Freeman, Joey Votto. Their rookies were both back 2011 or a little bit earlier. I mean, cards at that point weren't tremendously overproduced. They weren't as produced as anywhere near the levels they are now. Is Franco going to have a Freeman level career or a Votto level career? Probably not. Probably not. So if you're dropping $50,000 on one of his one-of-one prospects, or if you're dropping, I saw like a Topps paper flagship camo number 25 went for like $5,000. That's $5,000 for a non-autographed Topps flagship of a player who's, we don't know what he's going to be. And I don't get taking that risk for the possible reward of it. So give me my Fergie Jenkins and J.R. Richards and Rod Cruz. I know what they're going to do. They're not going to do anything else in the bigs. They've done what they've done, and that's who I like to collect. So I'm not a prospect guy. So
2011 Topps Freddie Freeman, 35 or best offer. There's one in a slab. Jim meant 10. Auction just started. It's at 99 cents still. 99 cents, $25 buy it now, $2, 99 cents, like maybe a $15 card if you think about it. Freddie Freeman, he was an MVP a couple of years ago, just won a World Series. Man. Wander Francos were going for $20-$30 right out the bat. I mean, they're down now, so you buy a blaster, you pull a Wander, you're still out money, but it's just like,
I just don't get it. I mean, I sold a Bobby Dahlbeck 15 minutes before the show started for $140. And that just kind of what made me think about it. I'm like, I'll take the money, give me that money. But, I got the notification, the eBay notification, guy offered me 140 for it. I was asking 160. When I pulled it, I just found it the other day. It was in a box of my old, I pulled it, a couple of years ago, and it's been in the box. And I was flipping through it, and I'm like, oh, that one's probably worth, probably sell for something now.
Yeah.
And checked comps on it, and I was like, well, I'll price it 160, 170 and do an or best offer. And if somebody offers me anywhere near, I set my auto decline at 140. And I'm like, if anybody goes 140 or higher, I'm not even going to negotiate with them. If they're going to offer me that, I'll sell it, because this time 2 years from now, it'll probably be a $14 card. It could be a $1,400 card one day, but I'm going to go with, it's more than likely going to be a $14 card one day.
Yeah.
So
people don't realize that. They get upset about those misses, and those aren't misses. Those are wins. You pulled a card out of a pack. You sold it for $140. What are you going to buy with it? You're going to buy more cards. You're going to buy more entertainment. You're going to go, on a trip or a date or whatever. You're going to use that money for some other life experience. So it's not like you lost that potential, going back. Maybe you buy a box and you pull a Wonder 101. You know what I mean? Like, if I didn't sell that Bobby doll back for, $1,260 less than what it was worth, I wouldn't have got that, $100,000 Wander Franco card. So it's kind of like, people you got to take your profit, and you just got to keep, building and keep moving, keep supplying your hobby funds, instead of just like, oh, I need to sit on this forever and keep throwing more money and hoping that they do go up instead of the opposite. You can get yourself in trouble if you're just going to sit and hold.
Oh no,
everything.
I did it last year. I set on a bunch of Lewis Roberts. I set on, I've got an Alec Bohm and Joe Adele cards that were both selling for 150 to 200 at this time last year. And I'd be lucky to get $10 for the Adele.
Yep.
I think I could probably still get 60 or 70 for the Bohm, the autograph, but and
Robert's nothing. That's like $10.
Yeah. I had one of his that I got $1,200 out of a Lewis Roberts Series 2 short print. I mean, somebody paid me $1,200 for that card last year. So I did sell that one, because I was like, I'm not going to hold that one.
Yeah.
But I just held so many cards last year that I'm looking at now. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I sold a couple of Bo Bichette short prints earlier this year, Key Brine short print. And I'm like, these might be worth hundreds more than what I'm getting out of them right now. But that dude just offered me $125 for that Key Brine Hayes. I'm taking it,
Yeah.
So that's kind of, if I don't PC them, then I'm just going to start selling them and not worry about that missed opportunity of, I could hold this and it could be, it could be the next Trout that's worth $1,100 as a paper rookie. But I don't see that happening more than, think if I held them all. I don't like the players. They're not people I want to collect. I'm not going to put them on my display case. They're going to go in a box. So I'm just going to start selling more than I have over the last year and a half. I haven't done a whole lot of selling at all over the last year and a half, but I'm going to change that.
Me either. Yeah, me too. I've got a whole behind R2D2 there.
Yeah.
There's a whole box, like one whole row of stuff I need to take pictures and upload to try to sell, and it's a lot of the stuff I'm going to sell is going to be like, I like this card a lot, like my William Shatner autograph. So you're going to have to make a super offer. And like, I don't care if it sits on eBay for 2 years, not selling at my price, because like, it's one of those, like if I sell it at that price that I have in mind, then it's, that helps me out way more than having the card. But to sell it, at someone else's price, I think I would rather have the card. So, so there's things about this, like, don't get mad when people don't sell you their card. It's like their price. That's what they want to sell it for, and if they don't really want to sell it, then they're not going to. And I think that's, you see that sometimes someone's like, I offered this and it's over comps by like 300%. And they're like, well, that's, to them, that's what's going to take to move it, and so, but I have real quick, you're not into Bowman, but it just feels like with this whole rookie card crapola, and it happens with Bowmans too, with the way they do Bowmans, because they hold people back and then they put them out. And, like Christian Pache has a Bowman, and then the next year he has a first Bowman. So it's like kind of all crazy. So this happens anywhere. But do you think Bowmans are better to go for for a player, or do you like the rookie card in the uniform?
I like the rookie card in the uniform.
I do too,
I just I'm not Bowman. Like I said, the whole concept of prospecting just does not appeal to me. So buying Bowmans in general just does not appeal to me. I just kind of look back through history and I'm like, what are the odds? I mean, go Google #1 NBA draft picks over the last 10 years and look at some of the names. Yeah. And then look at some of the baseball can't miss prospects. So, I mean, if you're going to buy the Bowman, I mean, in my opinion, what you need to do is just buy them and just put them all away and forget that they exist.
That's what I like to do with Bowman.
Yeah. So that's what I've done. The few times I've bought the Bowmans, they're going to be the ones that 15 years from now, I go back and I'm like, oh my God, I've got 4 of these first Bowman Chromes of this guy who's now on the verge of the Hall of Fame. But I don't do the prospecting that much. I mean, I'll buy Bowman. It's like if I got an itch. I've never bought a box of them. I've never once bought a box. But believe it or not, the local gas station that I go to every morning, every year gets gravity boxes of Topps flagship, and they also get gravity boxes of just regular Bowman. And I'll buy a few in there just because, hey, I'm at the gas station and there's
it's fun.
There's packs of cards. Yeah,
it's the 90s all over again. Gas stations with cards. That's what my pops did. So my brother and I used to split for like a couple of years. We just get like a hobby box of Bowman. We'd split it. You know, it was like $90 or something, not even 100. So, you know, 45, $50 each, not, you know, fun. And I like to store them, and, you know, 5 years, I don't even do like the 15 years, which is probably smarter, but it's fun 5 years later to go back through your box and be like, wow, I have a Lewis Robert, you know, first Bowman Chrome, and I have a, you know, Ronald Acuna first Bowmans all over the place. Yeah. This is exciting. You know, that's what I like. I like to flip the color and the autographs right away, you know, because that's what you got to do. Otherwise, you're going to, you know, if you don't hit the crazy guys, you're going to be all over. But I like just the chromes and the papers and just going back and be like, oh, this is cool. I have a Peter Alonso first, you know. You know, and that's what's fun for me. But for collecting, and I know you different for like you like college because, you know, Kentucky's, you know, what you like to collect. So Kentucky football player means more to you than, you know, Alabama, you know, Pat Surtain for me. No, I need them in the Bronco uniform, you know?
Right.
So I do buy those college cards when I see them just because it's fun to, you know, get like the rookies and stuff. But, you know, Prism football is not coming out till like end of this month or next month, you know? And it's like, dude, it's been over for 4 months now.
Right.
Like Prism football should have been out like 8 months ago. All this weird stuff with the hobby now is just making it not fun. We should be getting draft picks, you know, Prism draft picks in their college uniforms for this upcoming draft.
Yeah.
And we're not. We're going to get
what was it that released? It released in January. It was a Panini product. It was a basketball product that released in January of this year, 2022. That had LaMelo and Anthony Edwards rookie cards in it.
Yes. I don't remember. I know what you're talking about.
They were rookies in October of the previous October of 2020 was their rookie debut in the uniforms of the Hornets and the Timberwolves. And in January of 2022, Panini's putting out, I don't know which one. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it wasn't Select. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
But it was flawless. It was flawless, which is a high-end product that I'm never going to buy, you know. But I was like, that's stupid. That is a money grab that's hanging on too long. You're going to get me talking about Panini. So let's just move on to another subject.
I don't mind Panini, you know, but
I hate them.
They right now, to me, are the baddest of the bad guys in the hobby when it comes to like the major companies, because they seem to have the highest greed, you know, appeal.
The Dutch auctions, and just price your damn products. You know what I'm saying? Just have the balls to put a price on it. And if you want to get this price for it. Price it at that. I hate their Dutch. I hate their Dutch auctions.
Panini PM for price.
Yeah, yeah, that's what they do. You know, that's how.
Please DM us for your price.
Yeah,
oh,
DM
man.
for price. Yeah.
This has been so much fun, Jay.
Everything they do
talking to you, man. I miss you. So yeah,
my hate for them started. I think I'm getting some buffering from you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's back. My true hate, other than their redemption and their replacement and their website, the links on their website that are for customer care are dead links. They have a chat bot, and it will eventually take you to a dead link. No matter what you choose during the chat bot, you'll eventually get to a dead link. And any email goes unanswered. Any phone call, it goes automatically to an unmanned voicemail box. I started really disliking them when I saw how I've worked in retail all my life, and I've worked for companies where customer service was paramount. I mean, they drill it into your head every single day. And I'm like, this damn company.
I think we're buffering again.
Optic and Prism basketball, the 2019-2020 craze with Ja and Zion. I saw them selling their own blasters that had their own MSRP of $20 that you could have gone to Walmart and bought for $20, or you could have gone. They were selling them on their own damn website for $80. And that just, at that moment, I was like, I'm done. I'm done with that company. I've got screenshots of it somewhere. It was on panini.com, and they were selling so they had held them back, and they weren't sending them to the retail outlets, and nobody could find them. And everybody hated the flippers, and people camping out and hoarding them all and then reselling. And then Panini's like, oh, we still have some we didn't send, and we're going to put them on our website and sell them for the same price that these flippers are selling them for. And I was like, screw you, Panini. And so that combined with, just like I said, the Dutch auctions, the complete thumbing their nose at any semblance of customer care, saying all we'll do is we'll send out a Panini pick me up, which I know you got one. I know Jamie got one. I know other people got one, but that doesn't, I mean, anyway, let's talk about something else.
Yeah. Like, Jay, please don't crap on them. They did send me free stuff, and I want free stuff in the future. So now let's talk about, because I mentioned this earlier, let's talk about it. Because you were kind of a doomer about the moves the Reds made in this shortened off season. So you have your favorite boo, Nolan Arenado. He's the prettiest thing you've ever saw. He's amazing at defense. He hits home runs. He does all this great stuff. And your team pays someone to take him off your hands. What happens to your PC of that player?
It depends. And I think, to me, it's an obvious answer, but that's, everybody's got their own opinion. But to me, here's the deal. So like Eric Davis, we'll use Eric Davis because, again, I don't deal in the modern as much as most people I deal in. But Eric Davis, one of my favorite players of all time, he along with Rod Carew, and they are a good contradiction of what I'm about to say. Davis, I loved as much as I loved Rod Carew. He started with the Reds, and my heart is with the Reds. So although Eric Davis was my favorite player of all time, when he left the Reds, he was so intertwined as a Red to me that I don't collect cards of him in a Dodgers uniform or a Giants uniform or an Orioles uniform. I just don't. They have no appeal to me. Now, Rod Carew has got as many cards in an Angels uniform as he does in a Twins uniform. But because I liked him, the player, and not who he played for necessarily, then I'll collect Rod. It doesn't matter if Rod Carew gets traded here or there or sold here or there, to another team for picks and cash and whatever the Reds did with their damn lineup. I'm still going to collect the Rod Carew card. So I think do you like the player, like Chris, Gold Line Cards, collects Cody Bellinger, and he's a huge Cody Bellinger fan. If Bellinger gets traded from the Dodgers, Chris is still going to collect Cody Bellinger because he's not a Dodgers fan,
Mm-hmm.
He's a Reds fan. So I just think for me, it's if they broke into the majors or if they became a star for your team and you started liking them, because they were a great player, but also the fact that they were on your team. I think that makes a huge difference to me. So if I like them simply because, like Fernando Tatis, I like Tatis. I've got a small PC of him. I don't go out of my way to collect him, but I don't get rid of any of his cards. I keep them all together. I make sure to, even this year, it's third year tops, I pull them out. If he got traded to the Brewers tomorrow, I would still like Tatis cards. Jazz Chisholm's a rookie from, last year that I started to like. I collect him not because I've seen him play a couple of times. It's just I challenge you when you stop watching this show.
Glove stuff, is that it?
It's if when you
did you see that though?
No, I didn't. But when you stop watching this show, go Google Jazz Chisholm baseball card, and if you don't smile when you look at that card, then you're lying.
Yeah.
All his cards, he's got $1 million 1,000-watt smile, and it comes through on every card, and that's why he's going to be maybe a good player, but I haven't even seen him play that much. I just love his baseball cards. Yeah. So I've started collecting Jazz Chisholm cards, and I'm probably going to watch the Marlins play a little bit more because I can't watch the Reds, and even if I could this year, I don't want to watch them. So, if I'm flipping through and I see, hey, the Marlins are playing, I might, turn over there to watch Jazz Chisholm. But then if he gets traded to the Rockies in 2 years, I'll still collect his cards. So, but no, like Chris, I feel bad for him. Jesse Winker, they had such a huge Jesse Winker collection. And I know they started collecting Winker before he had his breakout year last year. They were collecting him because Claire liked him. He was her favorite Red. He was on the Reds. He just happened to blow up last year.
Yeah.
But I don't think that collection will follow him to Seattle. I don't. So
I agree with you and everything you said, and I have proof of it. I loved Peyton Manning before he came to the Broncos. Here's my little binder. Look, I have a select prism and I have a prism orange color match. But
that's a nice looking card.
Yeah, it really is. If anyone wants to buy it, $5,000. But the years before, he's in the Colts uniform, and I have him in this is my binder when I first came back to collecting. I have him in the Colts uniform. But if you look on the front page, my main man, Von Miller, and that's the short print right there of his Topps card because there's the regular one up top.
There you
short
go.
Print that I pulled. Wait, no, that's different years, but that is the short print one. I am not going to collect Von Miller in any other uniform. I'm not going to collect Nolan Arenado in any other uniform. I am not going to collect my players that left and broke my heart. Not that they broke it necessarily, but that divorce, disconnect, like my guy, my team, rip. That's pain. Right. I'm not going to seek that pain out like you with Eric Davis, so intertwined. But if it's just the player, like I loved Adrian Peterson. I have Adrian Peterson cards in there, and I had loved Megatron, Calvin Johnson. I have his cards. If those guys, they switch teams, I wouldn't care. I'd still collect Adrian Peterson because there's not that my team pain separation. It's like, who cares? He's going to another team. It's not my team, and as long as it's not like the Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers, or Patriots, it's or Steelers. Sorry, Jen. But that's just how I am, and that's what I agree with. I'm not going to dump my old PC. Like, I'm going to keep those Von Miller cards because I collected them and they meant a lot to me, and they mean a lot to me still. I'm not going to dump, my Drew Lock cards that people sent me. I'm not going to dump my Noah Fant rookie autograph that I have. I'm going to keep them, because they're, players that I liked and enjoyed watching, a little bit here and there. But I'm not going to keep collecting them, because I'm mostly team. I do have some players, I showed you Von Miller.
Yeah.
But I'm just a team guy. And and I'm not going to Russell Wilson. I'm not going to collect Russell Wilson except for that Rockies card, the Bowman card, because that's cool. He was drafted by the Rockies. Go ahead. I need it.
Okay. Let's look at the comments. Hope you're all right. You're all right, man?
I almost died, Jay. I almost died.
Jen said
talk like this the rest of the show.
I was reading the comments. Jen said we just made her stop at Walmart. I think she was watching from the car, and she looking for some AEW cards, and they closed the customer service desk early. So now we made Jen pissed off.
Yeah, it's So yeah, I'm not gonna bring. I've tried that before. Jamal Charles from the Chiefs to the Broncos. That was supposed to be exciting for us. I'm not going to collect him. Like, I hated him, for so many years. Like, Russell Wilson beat us in the Super Bowl. I'm not going to collect him because collecting him is just going to remind me of that pain. The last football game I ever watched with my dad was that Super Bowl. So do you think I want to see Russell Wilson in a Seahawks uniform in my collection? No, it killed my dad, man. Like, so there are differences, but that's just, I think you and I mean, we get along so well, but yeah, that's that. It's if it's our guy, our team, and they leave, it's like, well, I'm just going to keep what was important to me at that time and to remember it. Yeah. I'm not going to pursue new stuff. So,
yep, that's the way I see it.
Yeah. So, what else have you been up to besides golfing and carding?
Man, I haven't been doing a whole lot. Like I said, I haven't been doing a whole lot of Twitter. I mean, I'm still on there, daily. But I'm just not as I don't know, active on Twitter. I've been doing a lot of reading. I don't know. I've read a lot lately. I go in spurts. Used to be I would go in like a 3-month spurt where all I did was read, and then I'd kind of get over that, and I would go on a 3-month spurt where I just binge watch crap on Netflix. I'd find a series that had 10 seasons that I'd never seen it, and I'd watch all 10 seasons over the course of a couple months. But I'd stopped doing a lot of that. I'm telling you, man, for the last 2.5 years, all my free time, as far as hobby wise, had been devoted to cards. And I'm just I have not given up cards. I'm not leaving the hobby. I'm just kind of getting back to some normalcy and so like a sense of sanity, like just kind of becoming more well-rounded and not devoting everything to just spending all my time with cards. So, I've been reading a lot, been cooking, man. I do HelloFresh now, so I get we get a few HelloFresh meals a week and try to cook something nice. The kids love it. Well, what my oldest does. My youngest is real picky, but no.
He and I would get along.
Yeah. No, so just been doing other things with my spare time other than putting stuff on Twitter and I don't know. It's just I noticed I mean, you're in one of the group. I was in I left several of the chat groups, like the DM groups. And I mean, not because I stopped liking the people in there. I still love you. I still love Chris and everybody who's, we had a chat group that we were in. Tom and I were in together. I just left it recently, simply because it was like, I don't want to say overwhelming, but it's like so distracting. I mean, it took up so much time. I tried muting it. I muted it for a couple of months, but it was always, if I opened my phone and I went to a DM.
They're still up there, and it shows that there's new messages, so you're going to check them.
Today, I got an update on my Twitter app that is what I'd probably, if I had it a week ago, I wouldn't have left the group. You can now pin your DM chats to the top, and you can pin more than one.
Yep.
So I could pin my chat with you, my chat with Chad, my chat with Kelly. I'm in a group with a bunch of hobby dads that is basically a support group. We don't really talk about cards. It's like our kids, I could pin that, but every time I was going to see it, to send you something or see if you'd sent me anything, or I got to know, I had a couple that were just dominated because there's so many people in them, like 26 people in this group and 30 people in this group. And they just kind of dominated. If I didn't have them muted, man, I was listening to a book. I was listening to an audio book on Audible because I drive a lot. And I was like, over the course, if there's 26 people in the group and 3 of them get in a big conversation about the damn Broncos, you can't. I love everybody in that group, and if any of you are watching, I still love you. And there's nothing against any of you. It's just that group went from what it started being for me, which was kind of a stress relief. Hey, I just saw this tweet, and instead of replying to it in public and starting some beef with somebody, let me just vent in here, with people who I know I can trust, or group, and we talked about the hobby and stuff, but over time, a lot of people became less active and less active and less active. And the people who had a lot in common stayed active, but the conversation went more to what they have in common. So that group went from being like let's all just have a fun support type, let's just get stuff off our chest, to the AFC freaking West. Yeah. And it's a AFC West chat now. That's what it is.
It really is. Yeah.
And it was like, I noticed, I was telling Jamie, one day we were talking about it, and I was like, man, football season ended a couple months ago, and there was a 12-hour period where I went back and counted, not because I was trying to prove a point, but just because I was like, I want to see. There were like 123 messages in 12 hours about the Broncos, and I love all you guys, but I don't love the Broncos, and what I want to talk about, is I might want to talk about Kentucky if we're doing that, but nobody in that group wants to hear about Kentucky,
I do.
And I'm never an off-season guy. I'm not an off-season guy. Mm-hmm. So I don't watch the NFL. I love the Bengals, but I care about the Bengals Sundays, September through February. I'm not watching the NFL Combine to see who the Bengals might get. I'm not watching the draft. I don't watch the NFL draft. It has no appeal to me. Hell, I don't watch Kentucky basketball until March. I don't watch the regular season games that much because it's kind of boring to me. Yeah. You know how huge of a UK football fan I am, but I don't subscribe to the recruiting services. I don't know who we have coming in 2 years or what juniors we have targeted. I'm not an off-season guy. I love my teams. I love watching them, and I'm passionate about them. But the way I fan is I'm not just all balls to the wall off season. And so, honestly, I didn't, it just became so distracting to me to get all those messages about the Chiefs salary cap moves and who are the Broncos going to get to fill this hole on the defensive secondary. And I kept, I would get a notification. I would open it up and there's something else about that. So if I could have moved that down a little bit and had it not dominate, my DMs, I would have stayed in the group. But anyway, I don't even know why we got on that. But I love you. And if you're in the group and you're watching, I love you. We'll still DM. But that group just I wasn't having a lot. Hello, Olive.
Olive, hi, baby. She's got limber tail, so she's not feeling well. So she's in here.
I saw you tweet about that. But
yeah,
I don't even know where we got to that point. But I said I haven't been as active on Twitter.
But just so you know, Che, the Broncos did sign a cornerback that played nickel from San Francisco today. So that is the guy that is going to be filling their hole in the defensive backfield. And it's hilarious that you mentioned that because that just happened like 2-3 hours ago. Yeah. So I understand that, and it is annoying because, you'll pop in there in these group chats and you're like, oh, so much is going on. It must be something cool. And you're like, oh, no, it's wheels and doors for 4 straight days.
Hey, I enjoyed that one. I enjoyed that one. That's the kind of crap that I want in my group chats. That's why I was talking about the hobby dad group that I'm in. Yeah. But I just said I'm not an off-season fan.
Yeah.
But I'm a 365 day a year dad.
Yeah.
So the dad stuff, and that's what we talk about in that group, so that's why, and I even told the people in our group, hey, I'm leaving this group. If you're still, if you happen to see me, if you're in that hobby dad group, which there's a couple, the reason I'm not leaving that one is because, that one is still apropos to my life, and I just felt like the group that we were in, while I love all of you guys, it wasn't apropos to what I'm interested in right now. So
especially if you're limiting your time on Twitter, you know, you want to get in, you want to get out. You don't want to read stuff that doesn't interest you. I'm the same way, you know. I've left a handful of groups and people like, why do you hate me? I'm like, I don't hate you.
yeah, that's what I was afraid of. I was like,
I'm not going to buy cards. Why do I need to be in a buy sell group? You know,
these guys are going to be offended that I left and think that I don't like them anymore. Or, you know, they might be offended that I'm saying what I'm saying right now. And if you are, I'm sorry. I still love you. I still love you. But I just don't, that wasn't where that had gone. It just didn't interest me anymore. And why, you know, I didn't want to just, you know, I still love you. I hope you're not offended, but you know, so I left multiple groups, but that's what it was.
No, it's quite all right. What books have you been reading? Anything in particular?
I just read most recently. I read a couple of books by Amor Tolls. I don't know if you know
Sounds familiar.
who he is. He wrote A Gentleman in Moscow and The Lincoln Highway. Those are the two that I've read recently. Those, there's no murder, there's no sex, it's not a thriller, it's not page turners. It's just good storytelling. You know, it's literary in its genre, which I haven't read one of those in a while, but it kind of puts you in mind of some of the old classics. I mean, like A Great Gatsby or something like, you know, The Gentleman in Moscow was really good. It's this dude who gets in trouble with the Bolsheviks right around the time of the Russian Revolution, and he gets the revolution's happening or whatever. He gets, instead of getting sent to prison, he gets confined to a hotel room while awaiting this trial. Right. So, but then the revolution happens and the communists take over, and the dude ends up stuck in this hotel for 30 years. So he lives out the rest of his life stuck in a hotel. And it might not sound interesting, but it was a really, really good book. And just kind of took place over 30 years. Really good storytelling. The one I just finished was by him. It's called The Lincoln Highway. Again, same thing. Just takes place over the course of 10 days instead of 30 years. But it's about two brothers in the 50s. One of them just got out of juvenile detention for manslaughter, which he did kind of do it, but it was involuntary. But anyway, his little brother's 8 years old and he's on the spectrum. It doesn't tell you whether he's got Asperger's or autism, but it's obvious the little brother's on the spectrum. And they have been kind of orphaned. Their dad died and their mom left them. And they just spend 10 days driving across America in search of their mom. And it's kind of, they end up with these, I would say, misadventures, but it's almost kind of like the old tales of Ulysses and, Homer, kind of Homer-esque type, So it was really good. Before that, I did a post-apocalyptic trilogy by William Forstchen. So I vary, but it was pretty good too. The first one was called 1 Second After. Basically, an EMP goes off and takes out America's infrastructure, and it's like a Mad Max type world. So there was a trilogy of that, that I read, and then before that, I got into Andy Weir there for a while. He wrote The Martian, Project Hail Mary, so science fiction. So I'm all over the place. It's just I just read, I just like to just consume just whatever's good. So it's not one specific style that I stay with. So yeah, I've been reading a lot.
I tend to stick with science fiction and fantasy for the most part, but I will go outside that to read other things. Like my buddy, he was like, you need to read Black Hawk Down before the movie comes out, and he was in the 82nd Airborne, and so it's like, I'll read military books or I'll read, novels, just whatever. But I kind of like the fantasy and science fiction, to new worlds are exciting to me. If you want to combine your reading and the hobby, you could read Paul Lesko's book, Gastric Bypass, our lawyer buddy, card lawyer. It's kind of like a Fight Club type book, that kind of style. It was really good. I really liked it. And then my buddy Ben, Dr. Angry Pants on Twitter, that a lot of people blocked or have been blocked by. He released a book, and I forgot what the title is, but it's just kind of like a detective. So I'm trying to solve a cold case. Very personal to him, and I was going to pick it up because it's probably super cheap on Amazon. And,
Yeah,
hey, it's fun to help your friends out. The bad
absolutely.
guy's name is Thomas or Tommy in that. And so
Oh,
I'm named after the villain or something, I guess. So that made me feel special, So if he views himself as Dr. Angry Pants, the detective, and then the villain is his opposite, that means Mr. Happy Pants Tom is the bad guy. But hey, who knows? But no, I think that's what I'm like halfway through 3 or 4 different books. I still have my Kindle from probably dating back, 8 years. I've got books I'm halfway through from 8 years ago. But I'm going to get to them eventually. I'm like you. I like to read for a while. Then I like to play video games for a while. Then I like to watch movies for a while. Then I like to do, TV show and it's not like there's a circle or anything. It's just like,
right.
I just, there's no set order. It could be like, oh,
Me
I want to
either.
read. I want to play video games. I want to read. I want to play video games. I want to watch TV. And it's not a set time, but it's kind of like that, like every 3 months, what I want to do changes. Cause like, okay, I've read a whole bunch,
Right.
I've caught up and I finished my 4 books that I was halfway through. Now I want to play some video games or just chill out and watch some TV. And, that's a lot of fun to me. And that's just kind of how I do my little side hobbies there. So,
yeah. And that's what I was what all led into that is I'm just not going to devote all of my free time to the hobby anymore. I'm going to, I'm going to get back into doing those type of things. Yeah. So I've always wanted to write a book myself. I tell you, one of the coolest things I've ever got to experience as far as just, I thought this is really cool, is I used to have a guy that worked for me who, when I hired him, he was an aspiring screenwriter. And he didn't own a TV. He did not watch TV. When he went home, he wrote. And when he had a break at work, he went to the break room and he wrote. And he was just passionate about it. So I helped him get transferred from our office to San Diego in the LA area, so he could be closer to Hollywood because he wanted to pursue this screenwriting dream. But then he got out there and he realized, I don't know if I want to do screenwriting. I'm going to write middle grade books, Harry Potter type books. So young adult. Yeah. So he came up with this character he named Jim Morgan, who's it's very Harry Potter-esque. But one day he sends me an email and said, hey man, would you mind to read over this and kind of be my beta reader for me? And I was like, absolutely. So he sends me the manuscript and I get, it's a Word file, and I got to go through, read it, edit it a little bit, say, hey, I would change this, I would do this, send it back to him. Then he sends me, a next draft. And I got to do that for 3 of his books, and he self-published, and he ended up being like he sold a lot of copies. But just being involved in that process was really, really cool. My kids have the copies of the books and they think it's neat to open it up and see, like the acknowledgments, I'm in the acknowledgments as,
that's awesome. Man.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool, but I've always wanted to do it myself, but as with everything in life, I just can't come up with that lightning in the bottle idea that this will work. I think I could have the technical ability to write it. I just don't have the creativity to come up with writing something somebody would want to read. So, but I've always wanted to do that.
I'm the opposite. I've got the ideas. I've got like 5 book ideas and just don't have the time or the desire or the knowledge to sit down and get it done. Like some screenplays too, actually. I have a couple of those in mind. And it's like, I think it'd be entertaining and fun. It might not be for everyone, but there's I think I have ideas that would be fun to read. Because I would want to read them, and I like reading books. So that's kind of like my judge, like when I read something about this, and I'm not as weird as a lot of people. So, well, Che, we're a little over an hour. Any last words you got? Anything you want to talk about before we head off and say goodnight?
No, man. I mean, thank you as always for allowing me to come on and just shoot the breeze with you. I love it. We don't do this enough. I mean, we used to maybe talk on the phone, do some Zooms that weren't recorded, but again, life happens and, stuff. So I just enjoy, thank you all for watching. I know we got a few people watching, and thank you for just watching 2 friends hang out. That's that's all it is. So I appreciate it. I enjoy it. And, just thanks, man. Anytime you need a guest and you need to fill a spot, I'm here. So
I appreciate
reading the book.
Yeah, because you're a safe guest. been down. I've had shingles. I've been down. I've been trying to power.
Yeah. How
through.
are the balls? Are they all right?
They're all right. It's the pain is not throbbing there anymore. It's mostly my lower back and my leg if it happens.
Yeah.
But it does happen usually from sitting for too long. But I think I'm going to cut my shows down to just one a week. It's been a rough few weeks with all this stuff going on. And I say I use this show to fight my depression, but the depression's winning a little bit. So it's like, I don't want to, and it's not like I'm faking this enthusiasm. Like I am super enthusiastic to talk to you, and I would be enthusiastic to talk to just about anyone, but you more so than others. So that's why it was nice to have you on the show. But it's just like, can I gather the energy to do this, twice a week? And I think I'm going to take just do the Tuesday show for a little while. Maybe watch some more TV with my wife. We're way behind. She's hurt. I'm hurt. Olive's hurt. We're all hurting here in the house. Nothing too crazy, but it's just how life is. But so, yeah, everyone, thank you for watching. Next week, I have no idea who's going to show up. I'll probably just throw a feeler out and someone will sign up. We'll have fun. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Che, any last words?
Nope. Love you, buddy. Take care.
Yeah, you too.